Hi everybody, it's Shadia Wade, or for all of you who may be new to my channel, Salam Alaikum. I am going to do a quick update about how my medication is working for me and what's been going on in my life and just basic everyday stuff. So this is a channel about bipolar disorder, and it also has to do with being a Muslim who has a mental illness, because I am a Muslim and I believe that, there is a God and that God is capable of doing so much for us, but also that God has given us the means to take care of ourselves and to look after one another, and so medicine is very important. So I don't believe that God hasn't given us a physical cure for certain things or a physical treatment for certain things, that the only way to get clarity in your life or stability is purely on just one facet of your life. I personally used medication along with my religious practices to improve my life and gain stability and balance and control. So, not to say that you have to have a religious belief in order to gain those things, but to have those things also is an extra tool in your tool belt to use. I think that by having a channel such as this, it enables people to see another way of coping with an ailment, whether it be a mental illness or something else like diabetes or something of that nature. I try really hard to come up with things to say, but I really appreciate other people's insight as to what I should talk about next, because sometimes I just ramble on about myself and I feel very selfish, and I don't like feeling that way, and I don't want to be egotistical or anything like that. I don't want to put my feelings or my perspectives above anyone else's. So if you have any insight, please feel free to comment or message me or tweet me or anything. On to my medications. So last time I was coming off of lithium and had been off it for some time, and was coping, and was having mood swings and stuff like that, and just battling with that kind of mindset. I saw my psychiatrist and he put me on Risperidone, which is a C-class medication that is, they don't have enough information to know whether or not it's safe for pregnancy, but it should be okay while I'm in this in-between process of like wanting to have a baby. So I don't want things that are harmful or things that might complicate that from being a fact in my body. Although I did research Risperidone, and it does say that it can cause a potential problem with getting pregnant as a woman and even as a man. So if you're trying to change over to medications that are safe for pregnancy, or you and your significant other want to get pregnant and one of you happens to be on this medication, I would seriously suggest that if you're having complications getting pregnant, trying a different medication. Another thing is that my doctor said that my symptoms should subside while pregnant, and he advised me to stop taking my medications if I in turn became pregnant. This concerns me because just dropping medications out of nowhere seems like a very hostile sort of means of treatment and prevention of passing the medication onto my child that isn't necessary for them. So, in my mind, I take it as I should wean myself off as soon as I possibly can when I become pregnant. And I've learned how to quickly taper myself off of medications so that I don't go into shock and have an episode. So, and that's just from trial and error and an experience. I would definitely speak to your physician if that is something you're wishing to do. But most of the time when I do it, it's only so that I can transfer over to a different medication. I'll taper myself off of one and then taper myself up to the new one. Or depending on what the medication is, if it has to build up in your system, I will dose up on the new medication so that it's an abundance in my system, and then go to the regular dosage that is recommended. That's how it was for me with the lithium, and just I would talk to your doctor about it. I am okay with the Risperdal. It does control my anxiety, so that's a bonus. The lithium didn't do that for me. I was reliant on Klonopin to deal with my anxiety. But the Risperdal seems to make me more calm and collected, and I really don't get anxious at all with it. So it must be doing its job. Like, you've heard me talk about the adrenaline rush or the adrenaline high that I get, whether it's anxiety based or mood swing based, I have no idea, but it's like all of my nerves are standing on end and are very heightened, and so sense of smell, sense of sight, sense of hearing, sense of touch, all of those are like seriously heightened. And so I find it very awkward to be still in myself and to relax and calm down. And so what I have an app on my phone that is a walk-through meditation where they sit you down. They don't sit you down, but they walk you through verbally the process of meditation, which is being in control of your breathing and focusing on the breath and just being focused on your body and where tension is and relaxing yourself from that tension and releasing that. And it's been really beneficial when I was coming off of lithium. I was doing it maybe a couple of times a day and found it to be very beneficial. And if that's something you're willing to try, I would definitely recommend it. I don't, like, there's a ton of walk-through meditation applications, and stuff like that. There's audio recordings that you can probably find on, Google or whatever, like YouTube videos that are walkthrough meditations. So I would definitely recommend anything like that for you if you're having trouble with anxiety or relaxing in your mood. But you have to be open to the idea of it. It's not easy at first to still yourself, but with time it becomes gradually easier and easier to do. So I highly recommend it. So far, I've just been really focused on my family and maintaining my home and maintaining care for my son and just being there and being present and being aware of what I'm saying and what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, so that I understand why I do things the way that I do them. Like, why do I clean this way? Is it something I was taught, or is it just the way that I happen to be? Like, I have a very specific routine of how I bathe myself, and it's not just religious. It was like this before religion came into my life, where I was just, I'm gonna wash this way because this is what I need. I had to have structure even in bathing. It was weird. But like, just little things like that I've realized about myself is like, wow, I had to have a routine here, or wow, I had to have this be clean here, and I have to have this be organized over here, and just focusing on why it is that I rely on that kind of structure or organization, and why that is so important to me. And, it's really important as a human being to have some form of structure in your life. To constantly be off and wild with the wind is not healthy, I would say, because that doesn't give you balance. It doesn't give you stability. Having some form of structure, like a regular routine of how you wake up in the morning, something so simple can be so complicated for some people. But once you get into that routine and how it works and why you need it and how it is going to stabilize all the other stuff that is going and running wild, you're gonna balance yourself out. It's checks and balances. It's just, here's how one thing is working, and this is how it'll play into this other stuff that's going on in my life. And, if I have structure, I can instill that structure into my family life and balance that out, and then move on into my social life and things like that. So, I find those things very important, and I think that it's very beneficial. So, I don't know if I'm just the only person who does this, but I used to make lists of things that I needed to do. I don't do it anymore because the list is in my head and I figured out how to prioritize my time. But when I cook big meals, like, I like to plan it out the night before, exactly like what needs to go in when and how long it takes, and just organize everything that way so it all comes out hot at the same time. And people are astounded that I can do that, and that's how I roll. Like, that's how I prepare a big meal, is I plan how I'm going to attack it and then do it, and it all comes out right at the end. so you're not eating cold food. Some people, they'll cook one thing and then another and then another and then another, and by the time they're done, the first thing has gotten so cold it's not even satisfying to eat it because it's so cold. And I don't like cold food. Like, I like my food that's supposed to be hot, you know. It's not a sandwich, it's an entree. It's supposed to be hot and cooked, and I don't see a point in eating something cold. It just doesn't work for me. So if you cook big meals all the time, then I would definitely like start planning it out like the night before, like whatever your recipes are and whatever your times are, like put them together and figure it out, like find out what things cook at the same temperature and when you need to put stuff in at the time, and just do the math. that's all I can say is do the math and find out how it works. That's if you cook. If you don't cook, if you're just the eaters of your household, then enjoy the meal. But that's what I've found beneficial, is just to plan out my big meals. Even my small meals get that way. You know, I make sure that everything comes out at the same time. Because I hate cold food. But to switch topics, you know, I've had just this constant bombardment of baby stuff thrown at my face. It's like, I have friends who have little babies, so they're constantly showing me little baby pictures, and it's like, oh, they're so cute, I want to pinch their cheeks and kiss them all over the place and just squeeze them. But it's like, when you want to be a mom and you're trying to plan a pregnancy, which personally, I don't understand how anybody can plan a pregnancy. It's like, you're either ready or you're not. And I am ready, like, nobody's business. But obviously, I needed some prep stuff to go on first, because otherwise I was going to be introducing a life into a hostile environment, because of medications. But I physically and mentally am ready to have another child. I think that this desire, this drive that's in me can be explained throughout history as just some driving force in every woman's life, or whatever. It's like that pinnacle time of, like, you know, just breeding. Like, I've hit that season. But, like, I didn't get much of an experience of being a mom and really bonding with my son when he was a baby, because I was in the military, and so I would work 12-hour days, 8 to 12-hour days, and then come home and nurse him and put him down, and then eat myself, and then go to bed, and get up real early in the morning and feed him, and then get ready to go to work. And, you know, I'd express breast milk while I was working on my breaks and stuff, so that there would be a surplus at home. And I was not producing a lot of milk anyway, so literally my son got every last drop he could. And so I think that because I lacked that physical bonding closeness with my son, I didn't produce as much breast milk, and I didn't really fully get to experience the joys of being a mother, a new mother. I had to basically go back to work. I got, like, the military gives you 45 days maternity leave. And in those 45 days, you have to start getting your body back into shape, first off. And it only gives you that amount of time to really bond with your child. And that's not enough time. Like, by any means. Like, in Japan, they give new mothers, like, a year or 6 months. It's insane. We do not give our new mothers enough time to really bond and be with their children. And if a mother wants to bond and be with her child, she has to give up her job. And in Japan, she doesn't. She's on maternity leave. So when she is done with that year or that 6 months of bonding with her child, she goes back to work, and she has a strong, tight-knit connection and physical bond with her child. So I wasn't present for when my son started crawling. I wasn't present for when my son started walking. I wasn't present when he started talking. I missed out on every first, really, outside of his birth and opening his eyes and first dirty diaper and things like that. I missed out on a lot of firsts. And to miss out on a lot of firsts as a mother, a first-time mother, really sucks. So I think that another reason why I want to have a child is because I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss out on my child's development because I missed out and really regret not being there for all those firsts for my son. And yeah, there's still a lot of firsts that will come, but there's so many in the first year of development that you can never get back. And I'm hoping that this next go round will be better. Another thing is that I love children. Like, I love children. I'm good with children. Like, my son is really physically demanding, and I wish that I was more physically capable of keeping up with him. But, when it comes to art or being creative or, just going outside and playing sword fight or whatever, as long as I'm not physically running around and chasing after him, I'm fine, because the lower part of my lungs is calcified because of being sick with bronchitis so long this past year that I can't breathe like deep enough. Like I don't get as deep of a fulfilling breath as everybody else whose lungs function better. And the calcification is basically just scarring of the lungs. Like, you have taken a razor blade and cut it up, and it's healing over, and you'll never get access to those bronchioles again. You'll never get access to those chambers again. And so I really regret that I got sick and couldn't get better. I regret that my legs are just not able to keep up with him because they were broken while I was in service. It pains me that I am not physically capable of being a better mom or playmate for my son. But I do the best I can. You know, I try and play tetherball with him. We have a tetherball in our backyard. Or play on the swings with him. Or, you know, ride scooters or bicycles or things like that. Things that are not physically demanding of me to the extreme. Because running is a very high impact action, and I need like low impact actions because my legs just can't take the hard stepping or hard contact with the ground. Like, if you're ever a runner, or if you are a runner, you understand that running on the street or concrete is harder on you physically, like your legs contacting the pavement is harder on you than running on dirt or grass because the earth gives rather than the sidewalk or the street, which doesn't. So grass or dirt is more of a springboard and is less of an impact on your knees. And so we did a lot of running on roads in the military and running on sidewalks in the military. So there wasn't a whole lot of low impact running. And so because my legs never fully healed from being broken, I've got really messed up legs. Like, I can't run very well at all. Like, my form's all messed up, it's choppy. Like, I can't take as long of a stride as maybe some people my age who didn't go through the military. Like, I don't know. But I really wish I was more physically capable of keeping up with my son. So, you know, whether I have another baby or not, if I don't have another one, I'll be upset, but I'll get over it because I still have a child. If I do have one, I'll be overjoyed, and it'll be another child to love and care for, and another child to expand my love and heart for. And it'll just make more of a bigger heart for me. Like, it'll give me and show me that there's more love capacity in me. Like, I'm capable of loving more than I already do. And, you know, I don't know. There's no good reason for wanting to have another baby. It's a selfish act. There's no good reason to want to have a baby, in my opinion, because it's selfish. You want it because it's what you feel will make you happy. And it's a completely selfish act. And maybe I am selfish, but I am not going to bring a child into a hostile world, into a hostile lifestyle. I'm going to bring it into a warm, welcoming home. And so it's not completely selfish. I would be bringing a life into a home that would be accepting and caring of it. And I say it because I don't have a baby right now. I'm not pregnant. And I have no idea what the sex will be. So I say it. And I don't think that that's selfish, bringing a child into a welcoming world. But the desire to have a child is a selfish act. And, you know, you have to have a partner who is just as selfish as you are in order to do it. My son, our first and only child right now, was not planned. And I wasn't supposed to really be able to bear children, but that's a story for a different day. So when I did end up pregnant, I didn't expect to carry it to term or, have a fully functioning child at the end of it. So I never expected life to turn out the way it has. Like, I didn't expect my husband Dustin to be supportive and come with me on this journey. And yeah, I was selfish because I chose for myself that I would not abort the child. That was my selfish act. And his selfish act was that was his child, and he felt responsible for it, and so they in turn felt responsible for me and bared through all of the hard times that came along with me being pregnant. So I am just really grateful and really thankful that that's how everything turned out. And I hope and pray that this next go around is easier and that it's planned, and that we just enjoy the time we have together. So until next time, take care and stay watching.